Hello again. My name is Stephanie Fender, and I work for the Coveros team as a client advocate. I manage our on-site training and consulting capabilities. I'm so excited to have Byron Katz, one of our instructors, here with me today to talk about our certification aligned courses.
Hi, my name is Byron Katz, and I am an instructor at Coveros currently. I am also a senior technical consultant. Since I've been at Coveros, I have worked as a coach and as a developer in various of our work with different clients, and I've been a developer and tester for about a decade. I started my career as a tester for a while, and then I worked at several of the development companies around the DC area.
So we have quite a few of our certification aligned courses that align with some of the major certification boards. Just to name a few, the ISTQB, the IC Agile, the Scaled Agile and Scrum, the Scrum Alliance, and the PMI. While many of our customers are very focused on certification, some aren't. So does a student also learn practical knowledge when taking one of our certification courses?
Absolutely. When I teach these classes that are related to certifications, I'm always thinking to myself that there's a fair amount of knowledge that they need in order to pass the test that is related to the certification. Or if it doesn't have a test, there is an expectation that the students will have been exposed to certain knowledge. That's very valuable for the certification aspect, but there's also the portion that is related to learning in general, and then things related to the capabilities that they themselves are seeking. I usually start out the class asking the students what it is that they are seeking and what they are interested in, and I can tie what I teach to that. I find that people are very interested in learning. Everything we do is related to learning. And if I can just tie the content closer to what they are already interested in, we're going to have a really easy time of it. One of the other things that I mention to people is that if they can walk away with only a single thing in their hands, then they'll have done well. And that kind of lowers the stress level a little bit for them, that they're not taking in their mind this stress of, oh, I have to remember all of these different things. No. It's about maybe one thing or maybe two, and those often click to other parts that I've taught and that we have discussed, and so they actually walk away with a lot more in hand than they even realized that they had. So my general idea is to cover the certification aspects, yes, but also to talk about the capabilities that interest them and that extend further into their careers.
Oh, very interesting. Thanks, Byron. So at Coveros, we just recently started offering a post-training coaching option for our clients. We find that the expertise and instructors like you with hands-on coaching post-course is a really effective way to reinforce what was learned during the class and to make it stick. The knowledge that is practiced and transferred from the course to real day-to-day work is really helpful with deliverables, with proof that the concepts in the training course worked. As you can see, you just mentioned that you like to stick with the certification guidelines and the bodies, but you also find that takeaways are also really important. Does this option of post-course coaching also make sense with our certification courses?
Oh, absolutely it does. I find that when we discuss things in the class, it's mostly from the perspective of the theoretical. And even when we talk about the pragmatic, the practical, and the exercises that we go through, it's a relatively surface level treatment. In order for these things to really click in people's minds, it's good to work with the kind of content that they actually apply it to on a regular basis in their real work. And when I can see what they're doing and discuss, okay, here is how you would go from where you are to where perhaps a more modern or progressive approach might take you, it starts to work for them in their mind like, oh, okay, that's what I was missing. So sometimes that's what's necessary to really jump to the next level.
Okay, it makes perfect sense. So just a behind the scenes kind of fun question to end our conversation today. I'm constantly pinged by clients to know what we're working on in our pipe in regards to our next certification course. Are you working on anything currently right now that you are able to share with our audience?
Absolutely. We're currently working on an Agile engineering workshop, which is going to be a deep dive into many of the software development practices that are carried out by Agile practitioners, and a new course on unit testing.
All right, that's all we have for today. I'd like to thank everyone for their time, for joining us. I hope you found this very helpful and valuable. I'd also like to thank Byron Katz, our instructor. If you have any questions or concerns, or you need some further help, please feel free to reach out and contact me. My name is Stephanie Fender once again, stephanie.fender@coveros.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye. See you next time.